Hey guys, it's Miss Self again. This week we're going to go over author's purpose and author's message. Just like always, this is a review, so it'll be really simple. First thing you need to do is create a notes page like mine. I have two tables on a sheet of notebook paper, computer paper, print this out, however you want to do it. Create tables similar to what you see on the screen. Sorry, you'll hear my kids in the background today. If you need to pause this to get your tables created, you can. Author's purpose with informational text. When you read something, you have to think about why the author wrote the piece. When it comes to informational text, the author usually has one of three purposes: to persuade, to inform, or to entertain. You'll see a few bolded words. Those are some things you should include in your notes. To persuade, the author has a certain belief and wants you to agree with him on that belief. For example, the author supports a charity and wants you to support the same charity. This type of text could be a letter, a problem solution text, or descriptive. Some examples: a letter that asks you to support Save the Whales charity, a text explaining the issue of polar ice caps melting along with solutions that you can be involved in, or a text describing the issues of deforestation with a call to action at the end. To inform, the author is sharing information about a topic. The text includes facts about that topic. It can cover any type of information. The text can be of any text structure that we've talked about before. Some examples of informative text include a text informing the reader about a specific battle in the Civil War, a text describing the life cycle of a monkey, or a text explaining how butterflies migrate. To entertain, this is the one you'll see the least of in informational. This is more with your fiction stories. The author is sharing information in an enjoyable way. This is usually something the author is passionate about. It's usually a descriptive text. Some examples of entertaining text include historical stories that are written like fiction. So think about your literary nonfiction, biographies, autobiographies, memoirs, or a funny story about an animal at the zoo. So we're going to do a quick practice. On the left side, you see a few examples. On the right side, you see the different types of author's purpose answer choices. So first, an article about the battles of Lexington and Concord. What kind of author's purpose are you going to see in this text? To inform. So it's informing you about those battles. A letter encouraging you to support a new law. So the author is a supporter of a new law that Congress is talking about and wants you to support it as well. What author's purpose would you see? To persuade. A story about a zookeeper and the bears he takes care of. Maybe these bears are funny, they are active, and the author really enjoys them. To entertain. Author's message with informational text. The author's message is the big idea of the text. It is what the author wants the reader to learn or take away from reading the text. There are several types of author's messages. These are the most common types, but there are also others. You have a life lesson, a central idea, or a persuasive message. The persuasive message, author's message, is very similar to the persuasive author's purpose. So a life lesson, this is similar to the moral or lesson in a fiction story. Could be a lesson learned from something historical, or the life lesson could be something the reader can learn from the life story shared by the author. Think about the memoirs and autobiographies again. The central idea, this is the most important idea or ideas that the author of an informative passage wants you to understand. This is usually the main idea or main point the author is focused on. Some examples include, in a historical text, the author might focus on certain dates or events. or a text about lions might focus on their hunting habits. In a persuasive message, this is the message the author of an argumentative text is trying to convince the reader of. The persuasive message is often called the call to action. This is what the author is asking you to do. The author might want you to donate to a charity, vote a certain way in an election, or protest some action. That's the end of our review for today. You have an activity in your Google Forms, and you also have some IXL to practice on.